Folks, I've reviewed a lot of movies so far on this show, some better than others. But today's befuddling fragment can't even be called batshit, because that's just not a strong enough word. So I'm going to go with wombat shit. Why? Because no one knows what the fuck that means and it comes in cubes. Did you know that? Because I've spent several decades on this rock and only recently learned wombats shit dice. Why do they do this? I don't fucking know, and that level of confusion still isn't even approaching the confusion I have over today's feature, 1986's Devil Story. A confusing composition that seems to make less sense the more you try to make it make sense. So what can we expect other than a mind-numbingly baffling story? Let's send up that sleeves docket and rattle off the tally. We have 8 dead bodies, 19 cups blood, 1 pile horse shit, 2 cups mummy spit, 0 naked breasts, gratuitous skipping through the woods, gratuitous upskirtery, spooked horse cliche, ominous warning via cat cliche, murderous monster tolerates abusive parent cliche, brand new car won't start cliche, it was all a dream, but it wasn't cliche, baguette in bag of groceries cliche, toccata in D minor cliche. You know, this. Clawed glove to the face, knife to the gut, shotgun blast to the face, 1 horse-kicked stomach, 1 horse-kicked jaw, 1 horse-kicked skull, 1 gaping head wound, 1 fence impalement, 1 car smushin', 1 human torch, 1 ripped throat, 1 gut-stomping disembowelment, repeated donkey punchery, kitty cat POV, ridiculous lightning effects, cat scratch nightmare, obvious toy model effects, corpse reanimation, reanimated corpse levitation, cat jump scare, 1 incredibly traumatized horse, 1 exploding powder keg, and 1 very sheer negligee. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, strap in for this wild ride. Here's the opening shot. Like, literally, we begin with a deformed Nazi with a knife and bloody hands bursting out of a tent. We haven't even gotten a title sequence. Just monster gazpacho killing people in the woods and random folks who run out of gas. I mean, you see this out in the open and you think this is the person to ask directions to a gas station? Now, normally I give a little synopsis of the plot here, but I don't think I'll be able to do that for this movie, so I'll attempt to walk you through this one as quickly as possible. This woman and this man are driving through Florida. They stop to stay at an old mansion run by an eccentric old couple. The old man spends a long while telling the story of a ship that crashed into the rocks due to a bunch of assholes lighting fires during a massive storm, and that the ship just disappeared and the whole shoreline changed, or something. I don't fucking know. Most of the dialogue in this movie feels like it was very poorly translated from the original French production. Meanwhile, the Nazi monster and his bitch mother are out robbing graves. A horse runs up and down the street, pissing off the old man, who goes out to kill it with a shotgun, and the lady runs out in her underwear. A model bursts out of a high school student's shitty geography project, a sarcophagus falls to the ground, and a mummy gets out and fucking goes walkabout. The woman stumbles across the grave robbers and falls into an open grave. The old man wastes a lot of shotgun shells attempting to kill the horse, never once hitting it. The woman is taken by the grave robbers, who comment,
"That's amazing. She looks just like her."
And that's all we get from Hagatha, because she orders her son to dump her into an empty grave. The horse shows up and kicks the shit out of the Nazi for a long while, leaving him with a gaping head wound. The girl gets away by impaling the old hag with a section of iron fencing just as the mummy arrives to resurrect a pretty fresh-looking corpse. The woman crawls right to the mummy's feet and is captured by it. She scrapes its face bandages off and runs into the corpse. She notices it looks just like her, except for the ridiculous wig Sia got credit for inventing almost 30 years later, and then she takes off into the woods. The mummy and corpse hold hands and go for a walk. Meanwhile, the old man is still shooting at the horse, and eventually the sun comes up. He has literally spent the entire night firing shot after shot after shot after shot and not hitting a fucking thing. I guess after all the Jango Fett clone troopers were killed off, they got this guy's DNA to make the stormtroopers. The monster chases after the woman, who finds her way back to the car, but even though it's only got a flat tire, it won't start up right away. Eventually, she turns it over, and the beast takes a gentle ride on the hood. Now, I assume this was supposed to be her smashing him between the car and that post, but I guess they spent too much of the budget on those awesome ship effects to be able to afford a dummy and a second Nazi uniform for an actual car crash. He bleeds on the ground for a long time until the woman douses him in gas and lights him up. The mummy and his undead girlfriend are still enjoying their nature hike. Finally, the woman finds the old man, who's still firing all over the pasture. She begs him to kill the mummy, but all he wants to do is kill the horse. The one who has literally never once been seen in the same shot as him this entire fucking movie. Everyone comes together at the ship. The old man is excited at its riches and doesn't notice the mummy until it's right on him. But his shotgun doesn't do much damage, and he stands there running his mouth until the mummy rips his throat open and literally stomps his guts out. The woman picks up the shotgun and fires at a keg of gunpowder right next to the mummy. It explodes, and the woman wakes up in bed at the mansion. So I guess it was all a dream. But then, why do we see her raincoat and boots in the bathroom? She goes for a walk and ends up back at the cliffs, where she finds some spent shotgun shells and a plank of wood with the ship's name painted on it. And I'm going to pause here for a few moments and give you some time to think about what you've seen so far, because I want you to make a guess as to what happens next. Ready? Go! Okay, time's up. Let's see what happens. There it is. Who had? The cat knocks the woman down and she is immediately swallowed up by the earth. Nobody guessed that? What's wrong with you dum-dums? Wasn't it fucking obvious? We cut back to the mansion where another couple has arrived. The old man is alive and well and comments about how the couple must have lost their way. And at nighttime, we see the monster and his mom hauling a coffin down the street. Roll the fucking credits! I know this one went quick, but I really didn't skip much here, folks. This movie really is fucking out there, and I'm not sure even multiple viewings has helped make it make any more sense. Every time I try to piece this one together, it just keeps falling apart in my head. What parts are dream? What parts are reality? Does any of it matter at all? My best guess is that everything between the old man's ship story and the woman waking up in bed was all a dream, but that there really is something paranormal going on at the cliffs. But what does that even mean? Are the old couple intentionally sacrificing people to the curse? What the hell do the grave robbers have to do with it all? What's the significance of the deformed dude being a Nazi? And what about the raincoat and boots in the bathroom after she wakes up? I honest to God think writer-director Bernard Lenoir made this to fuck with the French movie-going public. Or maybe the English translated dialogue was incredibly wrong. Who knows? If ever there was a movie that fits the car crash analogy so well, it's this one. You know it's going to be bad, but you still have to give it a look. Just don't go into this one thinking you're going to crack the mystery. It doesn't make a lick of sense. But you know what? That's kind of where the charm is at. Wombat shit crazy cinema. So every fiber of my being says that I can't recommend this video. But the psychotic contrarian side of me wants to give it 3 thumbs up just because of how impressively crazy it actually is. So by all means, watch this movie right now. It's baffling as shit, and that's why it's fucking fun as hell. Anyway, this one really took it out of me, so I'm going to step aside and get my head on straight by watching something completely, mind-numbingly simple and devoid of any complexity.
Time for Fast and the Furious 1 through 7.
So until I greet you next time, this is your confused clown sugar pants. See you in your dreams.